The band has gone on tour, 12 shows in 7 nights. The front of house goes in a truck while the band gets pissed on flights. When they get into the band room, there's a flight case of delights. Who wants a crack-laden double Jaeger bomb? It'll set you up for the night. The first gig was a nightmare, not one goat could play in time. And Gary wouldn't play until his G&T had lime. You fucking keep 'em coming, I'll have another 9. And by song 18 they hit their groove, the goats were doing fine. Now Gary loves to party, he'll booze on any day. He always gets shit-faced on stage, he says it helps him play. But he's headed for the manor house, where the whiskey doesn't flow. Not a clinic, not a hospital, at the end of rock and roll road. They smacked their way through breakfast, then they had another stein. The band came down earlier, but now they're feeling fine. The plane leaves at 2:10. Is that yours, or mine? Now pull yourself together and do another line. Gary and his hairy fucking horny fucking goats. The more they drank and smoked and fucked, the better songs they wrote. And when the press got close enough to ask them for a quote, they said go hard or fuck off, then they pushed them off the boat. There's no goats in rehab, no booze and no smokes, no Charlie horse or ganja, there's a strict no substance code. Gary needs 4 straight weeks as his test results showed. Not a clinic, not a hospital, at the end of rock and roll road. Halfway through the final gig, Gary had a fit. He threw up in the foldback and filled his pants with shit. The audience applauded, they thought it was a hit, though the goats reckon Gary's been overdoing it a bit. They staged an intervention, sent Gary for a test, and got a team of doctors to listen to his chest. They said, you're pretty sick, man, half alive at best, so they sent him to the manor house for another rest. There's no goats in rehab, no booze and no smokes, no Charlie horse or ganja, there's a strict no substance code. Now Gary's planned his great escape, it's rigged to explode. Not a clinic, not a hospital, at the end of rock and roll road. Now Gary Gary's back, he's looking good and knocking back the drinks. More indestructible than ever, more than anybody thinks. As he gathers the goats around him, he smiles and he winks. I've missed you bloody goats, you know, and all your horny kinks. Let's do another tour, 40 shows in 40 nights. A marathon of sex and booze and drug-enabled heights. Gary and the goats will be on stage at 10 tonight, pushing up the levels until the speaker stacks ignite. So Gary's back in rehab, no booze and no smokes, no Charlie horse or gunja, there's a strict no substance code. Now he's fucking furniture, he's horny as a toad. Not a clinic, not a hospital, at the end of rock and roll mode.